Sam, continuing to go along merrily in front of Hador. And then comes Quilixius with Umdor, starting to improve on the outside of Bustleton, with the outside of Varna Gold driven along at the back of the field. Racing towards the 3/4 mile point, they've 3 flights left to jump, and it's Sam enjoying a clear advantage over Hador, and then Quilixius, Bustleton, Umdor and Varna Gold. At the last flight in the back straight, where Hador made a slight mistake, it's Sam to the end of the back straight, leading by 6 lengths to Hador, joined for second by Quilixius, then Bustleton, Umdor's on the outside, and then Varna Gold. Racing onto the 4 mark with 2 flights left to jump in the Tattersalls Ireland Spring Juvenile Hurdle. It's Sam the clear leader by 6 lengths, with Quilixius moving second. And then comes Bustleton and Umdor, who are closing together. Hador has run out of puff as they come towards the second last. Sam with closing to be within 3.5 lengths Quilixius, a break of 4 to 5 to Bustleton and Umdor. Heading for the home turn, good run of the final flight, and Sam is reeled in by Quilixius. Bustleton has been asked to try and make an impact on them in third, and not coming into it is Umdor as they swing into the straight. And it's Quilixius looming up on the outside to pick it up from Sam and Bustleton, and racing down to the final flight in the Tattersalls Ireland Spring Juvenile Hurdle. It's Quilixius coming away from Sam with in third place Bustleton, and at the final flight it's Quilixius and Jack Kennedy over from Sam, who made a slight mistake. Bustleton is third. They're well clear of Umdor, who has run no race at all, and it's Quilixius. Quilixius looks as well as ever after his break, making his 3 from 3 in the Tattersalls Ireland Spring Juvenile Hurdle. Second is Sam and third Bustleton.
Yes, Quilixius remains unbeaten over hurdles for Gordon Elliott, Cheveley Park stud, and Jack Kennedy in the plate today, the 6-4 on favourite. He was hammered in the betting and has justified that strength with decisive success, beating St Sam, who gave it a real good go from the front, maybe just always doing a little bit more than Danny Mullins would have liked, but has stuck on well for second spot. Bustleton back in third. Nothing not to like about the winner's performance.
I have to like it, Gary. It looked a really strong race, good gallop. Jack Kennedy sat off the pace. This horse travelled really well, jumped super, and has won impressively, and he adds to Gordon Elliott's strength in this division. We pick him up down the back. Yeah, St Sam was always doing a bit much in front. Hador had run way too free with Rachel Blackmore. He'd set off in last. But the winner, or not the winner, sorry, the horse in front jumped like a buck for the first 6 hurdles. The last 2 weren't as good, but it was a... Jack Kennedy was always happy and confident. He sat off Danny Mullins, and you can see Danny's legs. Look where his feet are, how straight he is from his foot to his knee to his hip, as he's trying to anchor himself against St Sam, who's just taking him too keenly in front. And he's pinging his hurdles, but he's always doing too much, and he doesn't have anything left to repel Quilixius when he comes to him. But to be fair to Quilixius, he's done everything really professionally and really right.
Yeah, just that last hurdle there was the only one he was really a bit awkward at. In the main, he was pretty neat over his obstacles today, and we'll see here on the run to 2 out when St Sam just shortens up into Quilixius, jumps this one really well, and soon enough he's right on the tail of the leader. Jack Kennedy just had to bump along for a couple of strides there just to get him to go in pursuit of St Sam, but you like the way he's done it in the end, and this should stand to him as well, really, shouldn't it? Because let's face it, this was worlds away from the opposition he'd been tackling in his first couple of hurdles.
Absolute chalk and cheese. Look at Varna Gold jumping the hurdle now. That's the horse Quilixius had beaten in Down Royal. So you can see how much the difference in the 2 races. But you know, the mistake there really stuttered or stalled St Sam, whereas Quilixius pinged the second last, ranged up on the outside, and quickly puts the race to bed. But I think, to be fair to the run up, Gary, he could have folded and faded back behind Bustleton. Umdor never landed a blow, but St Sam keeps at it while Quilixius has a look at the last, jumps it cleanly. And look, they're not sprinting up the straight, but it was a really strong gallop for juveniles, and you'd have to be impressed with him. Would I be taking him over Zana here? Go on, Gary, would you?
Well, I was going to ask you the question. I wouldn't either. I mean, you'd love to own this fella. He's a smashing horse, and he's going to win loads more races, I'm sure. But Zana here beat St Sam a lot further at Fairyhouse, didn't he? And
yeah,